Monday greetings and a happy Valentine's to you all. Welcome to this week's first edition of Primetime News. I'm Michael Madimba. Before we commence with tonight's news stories, we kindly ask that if it's your first time joining us, please subscribe, hit the like button, and be sure to click the bell icon to stay abreast with the latest happenings locally and internationally. In tonight's lead, we begin with Russia-Ukraine tensions. Deputy Director of Information Research in the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation says the country is ready to evacuate Namibian citizens in Ukraine amid tensions with Russia in the event a war breaks out.
In a recent interview with NAMPA, Deputy Director of Information Research in the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation, Mabelin Khwaghosa, said that there are about 114 Namibian students studying different fields in Ukraine, and the students are in close contact with the Namibian mission, and in case of any eventualities, the mission will come up with an evacuation plan to ensure the safety of all Namibian students. She said Namibia's position on the political conflict that has been unfolding between Ukraine and Russia is that it should be resolved through peaceful dialogue. Khwaghosa said, as a matter of principle, Namibia believes and advocates for a peaceful resolution of any political conflict globally, anchored on respect of the territorial integrity and sovereignty of nations. The political conflict between Ukraine and Russia started between February and March 2014 when Russia invaded and subsequently occupied the Crimea Peninsula of Ukraine, and the conflict has now intensified. Some countries have ordered their citizens to leave Ukraine for the sake of safety.
Vice President Nangolo Mbumba delivered the 40th COVID-19 briefing on national response measures at State House this afternoon.
The current regulations are due to expire tomorrow, midnight, on the 15th February 2022. The status quo will be maintained and extended for a period of 30 days from February 16th to March 15th. With regards to the size of public gatherings, for the next dispensation, the size of public gatherings will be adjusted from 200 to 500 persons per gathering. The Minister of Health momentarily will elaborate on the new measures for this period. As we settle into New Year 2022, the year of re-imaging, let us redefine and re-imagine this year through the positive lenses of hope, optimism, and faith, which can help us realize our personal and collective visions. As His Excellency President Hage Geingob always emphasized, it is only by pulling together in the same direction, in the spirit of Harambee, that we can build a stronger, prosperous, and united Namibian house, in which no one feels left out.
Moving on to marine conservation matters. President Dr. Hage Geingob says the protection of the ocean for the common benefit of humanity is a collective responsibility of all geographic regions of the world. Erasmus Shalihakwe compiled this report.
Geingob, at the first edition of the One Ocean Summit in Brest, France on Friday, said Namibia has a coastline that stretches over 1,572 kilometers. Therefore, the cooperation of Namibia's landlocked neighbors, who are considered sea-linked, will help with sustainable ocean governance as a shared public responsibility. Initiatives resulting from this summit must respond to the impacts of the climate change crisis. The head of state said though equitable and better governance of the oceans, and they must lead to a path of sustainable fishing, combating plastic pollution and coastal erosion. Geingob said Namibia is in the final stage of developing a sustainable blue economy policy, among others, aimed to effectively protect, maintain and restore biodiversity, productivity, resilience and intrinsic value of Namibia's marine and aquatic ecosystems. Namibia is also developing green hydrogen as a means to limit the impacts of climate change and its consequences on rising sea levels and global warming. He further said that world leaders cannot continue to talk about threats to the ocean in an abstract way or to offer one-dimensional solutions that could hinder the implementation of the recommendations from the climate change experts, because the ocean gives food, it gives life, and connects human beings in extraordinary ways. The summit was attended by 20 other heads of state to discuss and mobilize the international community to take tangible action towards preserving and supporting a healthy and sustainable ocean.
Moving on to law enforcement matters. A South African national was arrested with heroin valued at over 2.4 million Namibian dollars at the Hosea Kutako International Airport over the weekend.
Somebody was arrested at the Hosea Kutako International Airport when he lands. It was then detected at the machines that there must be something suspicious. So what happens is, this person, when he came in, he opened this one. There's something here. All these 5 parcels was put in here. In other words, when you open the bag, you can't see from inside that there is something inside, unless it's detected by machines. So maybe just to show you how the bag look inside the bricks. So you can't see. This one is closed. You can't see something unless it's detected here. So and that is how, only after detection we realize there's something suspicious. We have to call in the dogs, and then the dogs then closing the inspection, we found that there is 5 parcels in the compartment of the bag. What we have here is heroin. On landing at the international airport, as I said, a male person was arrested, South African citizen, was then arrested, then he carried all these. This is only to destroy the human beings, and mostly the young people of nowadays. So it is very serious, it's a concern, and we are calling on the public out there to please to assist in identifying similar substances.
Stand by for your top roundup. In the business and economic segment this evening, Namu Water's Corporate Communications Officer Johannes Shiweda on Saturday confirmed that water supply from Okahanja to Windhoek had been restored, this after it was interrupted by a damaged pipeline.
Shingwera on Saturday told Namba that a team from the water utility has been hard at work at the Brakwaterweight Bridge to have the damaged pipe fixed. Shingwera said the team started pumping water around 1200 hours to fill up the Windhoek terminal reservoirs before the city of Windhoek reservoirs ran dry. The water utility had earlier reported that the pipeline was reported to have been damaged by a rainstorm on Friday, and it was feared that it would interrupt the water supply from Okahanja to Windhoek.
On to offshore business news. Europe's major markets sank heavily at the open earlier today as fears intensified over a potential Russian invasion of Ukraine.
London's FTSE 100 index fell 1.6%, Frankfurt's DAX dropped 2.7%, and the Paris CAC 40 dived 2.9% after sharp losses across Asia. Ava trade analyst Naeem Aslam said worries that an invasion of Ukraine by Russia is imminent have pumped waves of volatility in markets, with investors expecting higher fuel prices.
That's all the top news we had for you this evening. Stay tuned for the economics roundup, followed by the weather forecast.
warm welcome to Everything Sport on Sport Planet with me, Joy Gosses. Leading the segment this evening, Brave Gladiator striker Senator Coleman scored 2 goals as her side, Fenerbahce SK, defeated Garadena's Ereklay bid by 6 goals to 1 in the Turkish Women's Football Top League on Sunday. The Namibian struck in the 33rd and 61st minutes to follow up on her hat-trick that she scored last week. Margot Nglovo, our sports journalist, compiled this report.
This was Coleman's 3rd game for a new club and she has already scored 5 goals. In Botswana, Aubrey Omsop marked his debut for Mastehoka with a goal on Sunday in a 3-0 draw against Police 11. Omsop, who signed for the Botswana team 2 weeks ago, made his debut alongside national teammate defender Ivan Kamberipa. In South Africa, Dion Hotto continued with his hot form when he provided an assist to defender Vandile Shandu to make it 2-0 in the Confederations of African Football Confederations Cup match at Orlando Stadium on Sunday.
On to cycling news. Alex Miller and Vera Lusser won the 2022 Nedbank Namibia Cycle Challenge men and women's elite titles during the 100-kilometer race that took place in Windhoek on Sunday. Hazran Kapanga, our sports journalist, compiled this report.
Miller won the race in a time of 2 hours, 22 minutes and 15 seconds, ahead of international rider Dutch Eritrean and Paralympian gold medalist Daniel Abraham, who clocked 2 hours, 22 minutes and 16 seconds. 3rd place was taken by Gerard Mans after he clocked 2 hours, 24 minutes and 43 seconds to closely beat Driekus Coetzee, Hugo Han and Jean-Paul Burger in a photo finish. Coetzee and Han both clocked 2 hours, 24 minutes and 43 seconds to finish 4th and 5th respectively, while Burger and Ingram Kauf came 6th and clocked 2 hours, 24 minutes and 44 seconds. In the women's race, Lorsa outsprinted Melissa Hintz and Genevieve Weber to claim the 1st position in a time of 2 hours, 52 minutes and 29 seconds. Hintz clocked 2 hours, 52 minutes and 30 seconds for 2nd place, with Weber clocking 2 hours, 52 minutes and 31 seconds in 3rd place.
Your sports roundup is up next. With that, we have come to the end of the week's first Primetime News Bulletin. Thank you for joining us. A reminder that if you are new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and click on the notifications bell to stay posted on the freshest happenings, locally and internationally. Feel free to add your comments as well in the comments section. Catch us tomorrow for another edition of Primetime News. From myself, Joy Gosses, and the entire production crew, good night.